Hi, everyone. Welcome, or in some cases, welcome back. We apologize for the earlier audio technical issues with our live webcasts, but we're thankful that you are sticking with us to bring to you this afternoon. I'm Brian Manning. I'm a financial advisor here in Nashville, and I'm joined by our resident SBA expert, Lane Rhodes, and she's going to share with you a little bit of information about two of the programs that the SBA is working on to provide to you as small business owners. If you're familiar with Pinnacle, if you're a client, if you've participated in other web events with us, you know that learning is critical. We providing information to you, but also connecting you together with other business owners. And it's a bit of a challenge. And so we're trying to do this virtually and still try to be there for you as a resource as you walk through what for most of us are uncharted waters with information changing hourly. We want to try to be a source for you for accurate information. If you have questions once this webinar is over, we encourage you to reach out to your local financial advisor, contact your local office, and feel free to ask any questions that you've got. And we are here to walk with you through this time and also through the SBA application process. Also know that the latest updates are available at pnfp.com/update. As the SBA continues to put out more information, we'll be sure to provide that information, make it available for you, and also connect with us on LinkedIn and Facebook, put articles and information out there for you to access and find. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Lane Rhodes. She is an FA here in Nashville. She focuses specifically with loans and clients that they're dealing with the SBA process. And she's a fantastic resource as information continues to come out about what the SBA is doing right now in the middle of the pandemic crisis. The SBA is always available for you as a small business owner, but specifically right now, it's a mechanism to operate during disaster relief. There are two programs that we're going to talk about today, one that is available to you now as a small business owner, and one that Congress is still working on the details, and Lane will talk a little bit more about that. With that, I will turn it over to Lane and let her share with you the information that we have right now about how you can access this as a business owner.
Thanks, Brian. I really appreciate the opportunity to reach out to our business owners and tell them more specifics around the programs that are currently being offered by SBA. And then hopefully there'll be some legislation that's passed this for us to offer some bank loan to the loans offered directly through SBA. So I thought I would kind of start it off this afternoon first talking about the SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. And this is the loan program that's directly through the federal government to our clients. So it's not something we offer here at Pinnacle. We'd be happy to help point them in the right direction and help them with the paperwork that goes with getting one of these applications submitted. But these loans get submitted directly through the federal government. The governors in each one of the states where we operate to appeal to Washington, D.C. for their states to be eligible for these programs, and that has taken place. So now anybody within our bank footprint should be able to go online and apply directly with the federal government for one of these economic injury disaster loans. So one of the things I'd like to point out that historically with our loan programs, they're only offered to for-profit businesses, but with these disaster loans, they open the nonprofit, privately held you have a client that runs, a local nonprofit, they can also apply for these economic injury loans. I know some, potential private schools and stuff like that would qualify as well if they're having an economic impact from having to be shut down right now.
Lane, some of these as a nonprofit.
That's a great question. Churches and religious organizations technically do not qualify for these disaster loans. So they are going to be one of the excluded businesses currently. Would be that companies can apply for loans up to $2 million. And for-profit businesses, the interest rate would be 3.75%, and for nonprofit, 0.75%. that they can use the money for is going to be covering payroll, utility bills right now while their business is potentially closed, those kind of fixed costs that they're going to have everything in while they're seeing a decrease in revenues. Need to get some paperwork together to be able to increase in revenue. And one of the things I also like to point out on these is potential collateral requirements. If the loan's under $25,000, no collateral will be taken. So they can just go online and apply for a loan through the federal government. Once it goes over $25,000, they will be required to let the SBA take a lien on business. The SBA may require that they take additional collateral as on a home if you own a home and have some equity in it. Now, that's not to say that if you don't own a home and you don't have equity to provide that you would be declined for the loan. But if you have assets that are available to be pledged, more than likely the S is going to want to see that those assets loan.
So a couple of quick questions with loans. One of the questions that I've gotten from several clients already, is there a designation on the size of the business that can apply for these loans? Is there a restriction on revenue or employees or a specific size of business that can apply for these loans? Or is it really truly available to any business being impacted by the economic downturn?
That's a great question. And most small businesses are going to fit into the SBA size standards. However, the SBA does go in and delineate businesses NAICS code, kind of the size standard, the number of employees and revenue dollars would qualify and fit in these program parameters. We'll give you guys a link to that so that you can go search your business's NAICS codes to make sure that you fit into for the SBA loan program.
And then what about the use of the funds? What are the parameters around what business owners can use these funds for?
That's a great question. They're really, the economic injury loans are here to help replace some of that revenue that's not coming in. And so it's, buy a building or buy another business or maybe buy some equipment. We're really wanting you guys to use these funds to help meet your current monthly operating expenses, utility bills, making your mortgage or rent payment. Those are the types of things that we're going to want to see as how the fund's used, and not going towards, buying something new or expanding the business during this
That's
time.
helpful.
Definitely. I've gotten a lot of questions from people applying for this, and some feedback from clients that when they actually do go to the SBA and apply, that it's taking a really long time right now. The SBA's online platform was built to handle regional disasters. Is a widespread nationwide disaster where we have small business owners from California to New York going in and applying right now, and the system just physically cannot volume that's going into it right now. So just some patience. If you wanted to complete a paper, mail that to the SBA office in Fort Worth, as well of the forms that you fill out and where you can mail them. The SBA definitely to try to apply online first, because it's going to get faster that way. But if that's just physically impossible, where your business has tried multiple times online to try to apply and they haven't been able to get through, then the paper application would be the best next option. I do tell people to be patient with it. I've heard that people that have gotten through the system, it has taken a couple of hours. So I just log in and quickly do in 10 or 15 minutes. But go over a couple of the forms real quickly, Brian, that you're going to have the clients to have in place and ready to go once they do log into the system. And so the first one's going to be the SBA application form. And if you wanted to pull that up online ahead of time, you'd at least know what information is going to be asked for in that application form. They're also going to want a 4506T form, which is the form that allows for them to go in and pull businesses and personal tax transcript history. Also going to want to get a schedule of the current business liability, and then they're going to want a current personal financial statement. And I'm sure if any of you business owners Pinnacle loan, we've had you complete the Pinnacle personal financial statement, but the SBA is going to want this on their form. It's called the Form 413. And then they're also going to want you to have your most recent year of federal tax returns. If you have filed 19, it would be 19, but more than likely it's probably going to be your 2008 personal and business. Go ahead and have that stuff available and ready, and that'll help speed up the process a little bit for you when you go online to apply.
Yeah, and then also I would assume having a list of those things like we talked about earlier. What are your hard costs that are being impacted by the pandemic? What are some of the maybe projected shortfalls that you're going to be able to demonstrate that to the SBA so they know what to look for, right?
Definitely. You know, as much as you can document for them to be able to show them an actual number that, you know, the coronavirus has had on your, the more likelihood of them approving the full loan requesting. So if you can give them payroll records, accounts payable records, current, you know, notes and obligations that you have due, anything that you can give them to help document the expenses that you're going to have, and then also documenting for them the losses that you're going to have. So if you're a retail business and you can show them that in March of 2019, you know, you did 200,000 in sales, and this month you've only done 20,000 in sales, then that's going to be compelling information to them to help them, you know, out for your small business.
Yeah, and I guess the other piece to remind our clients of is that to also provide good contact information so that as they are going through the process that they can reach out and ask a question to you if there's information that's missing, or maybe the SBA needs them to elaborate a little bit more on what they provided, that there's a good contact way to reach out to them and keep that communication going.
Very, very important. Having good contact information. We definitely want to know how to get a hold of you, and they will email you. I think some people think phone contact, but you know, we at the bank deal with SBA, and they like to hop on the phone, so make sure for them to contact you.
That is very. The next topic to discuss is the next option that has yet to be approved, but is still working its way through the system. Can you tell us a little bit about what all is involved with that?
Yeah, so the CARES Act has a component of it, which is Keeping Workers Paid and Employed Act, which is the part of that legislation that's going to apply to small business owners. And good stuff that's been proposed out there. We just don't know what's actually going to get into law and be able to be small business owners. But I mean, the gist of it is about $300 billion in actual additional SBA 7A lending capacity that would be rolled through SBA lenders that have delegated authority. And by delegated authority, that means a preferred lender with SBA, a bank that does enough SBA, deems them an expert, and allows for that bank to make the underwriting decision without having to send it off to SBA. And that's going to be the key to getting these loans done quickly. Pinnacle Bank is a preferred lender with SBA. We're actually the top SBA lender in Tennessee. We handle the most amount of volume compared to the other banks in our market. So getting those in and having an expertise and wherewithal to process these loans quickly is going to be key. And that's really what the SBA is trying to want to turn this over. In their words, they want to turn it over to Main Street to really help these small businesses. And the reason they need to do that is because SBA just cannot physically handle the amount of volume that's going through the system right now. So some of the things that have been proposed are potentially 100% guaranteed loans that a portion or all of the loan may be forgivable if the company does not lay off employees. And that sounds really, really good, but we just do not know the terms of that. So I do hesitate with business owners kind of, and because they're waiting for this magic bullet from the government that we're just not really sure what it's going to look like yet. If you need to make decisions today in order to keep your business viable, I would encourage you guys to continue those decisions now upon hopefully getting a government forgivable on the road. Now, as soon as those loans are available, we will get them rolled out to you as quickly as possible. But I do caution business owners, because I've had a lot of them reach out to me over the last week saying that they're just really trying to figure out how to hang on day to day. Once this legislation gets passed, it's going to get turned over to SBA, and they're going to be, right now, the way it's written, they're giving SBA 3 weeks and then roll it out to the banks. Realistically, that time frame just doesn't, those are experiencing right now. But realistically, it could be several weeks before we're even loan programs through the bank. So you guys are out there struggling to make payroll, struggle the decisions of what employees you can, let go and what are have to keep. So we want to be there to partner those scenarios with you now to come in.
Yeah, so I guess it would be really good advice to, if people are feeling the pressure, they can see kind of the edge of the cliff not too far in the distance, to go ahead and get the process started with the option that's available today, to go on and go to the website, get the process going. And then if Congress makes the decision and approves this new program, that maybe then they could look into what those options, if I'm correct, just because you apply for the first due from also applying for the second option, it's just that you can't take funds from both options. Is that right?
Brian, so that's correct. You can go and apply for them, and I would definitely encourage people, if they that economic injury, giving the great rates on those and the longer terms that are offered, I'd go ahead and get your application in for that. And then if you still want to explore, available, we can look at both options. The SBA, as of right now, it doesn't allow for double dipping to where you could, apply loans and get both loans. But there's nothing to stop you from going together. In fact, the paperwork's going to be very similar for both programs. So if you're going to need some sort of funding to help your business, stay viable, then I would go ahead and start working with your local banker right now to get that paperwork in motion, so that regardless of which route you go, it's already in process right now as you're going through this.
That is so. Any last points that you would make, maybe role as they walk through this process, or anything specific about the two programs that you would close with?
I really encourage people to go ahead and start getting their paper and work with their local banker. We are here to help, cut through some of the government red tape and get things processed for them as quick as possible. So anything we can do, we're here to be a resource, and out and call at any time.
Well, thanks for the time, and thank you all. Information helpful. We're going to continue to roll out more information as it's available. We're going to continue to do these webinars on various topics that can be helpful to you as a small business, to you personally. So continue to check back at pnfp.com date for that information. We're looking to host all kinds of topics, so be sure to be aware for that. We will post the dates and the topics at pnfp.com through our YouTube channel and LinkedIn and Facebook. So please remember to check that out. We know it's a challenging time. It's uncharted territory for most of us, and our goal is to be here to effectively advise you as you guide your company and your family through what's certainly an interesting time. So thanks for being with us today. Thanks for taking the time, and we look forward to being back again with you soon.
Thanks, Brian.